today is I'm going to take a pair of jeans, this pair right here. I went to the Goodwill this weekend and got a couple pair of jeans that I wanted to repurpose. So this cost me, I think jeans are $5.25. And I'm turning it into a denim skirt. So I bought two pairs. I bought this pair because I really liked the embroidery detail down the side. So I kind of went with a light wash and a dark wash. So what I did was cut the jeans apart, fill in the opening front and back, and made a cute skirt, threw it in the wash, got this nice fun frayed edge there, and that was that. So I just thought it'd be really fun to show you guys how to do this. So we're going to set this aside. Okay. So first thing I did, actually this jean is actually, somebody probably really wants these because the cuffs look like they walked the hem off of it. But people really like the frayed and the rips and the tears. First thing I did was try these jeans on, and I marked right above my knee, kind of where I wanted my skirt to hit me. So if you're marking this, I would make sure, don't go too short, because you want to make sure that when I tried on the other one, when you pull your jeans on, you obviously can't pull them up any further because of the crotch, but when you've got a skirt, it's going to go up higher. So it may not sit exactly where the jeans did. So you may be able to pull them up higher depending on where you like to wear things. This pair of jeans, now that I've done it once, when I go try on jeans, these are really low. I'll probably look for a pair that sits up just a little bit higher at my waist. So this is a really low, it's got just like a really short 3-inch zipper. So I did kind of learn that during this process. You know, it is going to be able to be pulled up higher, so don't cut your legs off too short. So the first thing I'm going to do, so after I tried it on, I took a piece of chalk and I marked right across both legs, put my legs together and marked a line. Hopefully you can see that chalk mark right across both lines, and I'm going to cut it off right there. You can use a pen. I just had chalk, so that's just what I did. Grab my scissors here. But I really liked how it turned out, so I wanted to make another one. Because for some reason, I was like, I don't wear skirts a whole lot, but I've been wanting a denim skirt. I had one once upon a time and just haven't had one lately. And I'm like, I'm just going to try this project. Okay, so don't throw these away. We are going to use the bottom part of the legs to fill in. So just set this aside. Move this out of the way. Okay. So the next thing we are going to do is, you don't have to unstitch this. We're actually going to just cut right next to the seam. So it folds over. Jeans have what's called a flat felled seam. So we want to cut right on the thinner side of that seam and open it up. And just cut real close to it. You want to leave it folded like that, because that kind of finishes it off. And you're going to cut open both of them, both legs. Okay. So now we have this open, just like that. Next, what we want to do is we're going to cut right up where the crotch seam is, right up to the zipper. Maybe not all the way up to the zipper, but we're going to lay it out and see how far we need to cut up. So I'm going to just undo that right there. And again, you want to make sure that you're not cutting the wrong side. The part that folds over, the part that is raised up, you're going to have your scissors right next to that, and you're cutting the part that is not folded, just the thinner part. I'll cut through that, and the seam right here is pretty thick, so I don't want to cut too much. Okay. So now what we are going to do, I'm going to turn this around so y'all can see it a little better. I'm not going to worry about the back just right this second. But we're taking this part that we just unstitched and we're going to lay it over so it lays flat. So it kind of, you know, curves over. It's not going straight now. Because we're going to close this up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little pin right here. You do want to make sure that it is flat right up here close to the zipper. If it's not flat and you're kind of getting a bubble right there, just cut a little bit more. Now this has a really short crotch depth because, again, like I said, this particular pair of jeans were low rise. So I didn't have to cut a whole lot, so it just kind of depends. But you want to make sure that that is nice and smooth. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to top stitch right down this seam. So, and then we're going to do the same thing to the back. So I'm going to go ahead, flip it over. I'm going to cut right here. I'm just going to cut a little bit. And you want to cut just a little bit, and then maybe you might need to cut more. So I'm laying this out. And they're taking this curve and kind of pushing it to the side. So you just want to make sure that it doesn't bubble. I'm kind of getting a bubble right here, so I'm going to trim it up just a little bit further. And I want this to lay nice and flat. I'm going to put a pin right here. Okay, so I want to show you what I've done. So you can see how that curves now over to the side, and I put a pin there. I'm going to top stitch that. So I'm going to do front and back. I've got both of them, the crotch cut open, and I'm going to top stitch right here, and then I'm going to do the front also. And then we will piece in to close up that opening. Stitch this closed. Now you can use the heavier denim thread if you want to kind of top stitch right on it. You want to match up what you're using. Right now I'm just using a dark navy thread, and I'm stitching kind of right next to that denim decorative thread because you won't really be able to see it if you do that. So it kind of depends if you want to have more of a decorative stitch or how you want it to do. Okay, now I'm going to do the front. Okay, so here's what we have so far. We've got that, see how it's open right there and in the back, but that is stitched down. So now we are going to we're going to lay this flat. So now it's opening up like a skirt. Here, now it's got an opening. We're going to take one of the legs here. Now on this particular skirt, these jeans had this decorative stitching down the side, and I actually wanted to incorporate that in the front. So I used the side portion to fill in, and then on the back I just used the other half. So depending on what your jeans, how you want to look, it's up to you if you want to use kind of this flat felt seam or not. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this open. Actually, let me look in here. I'm going to lay this in here, and I'm not sure what I want to do. I may want to put this seam in there. I kind of like it. It kind of adds a little detail to it. Okay, so I've decided I am going to use this flat felled part, so I'm going to open up the other side. This is going to be the outer seam. And I'm just going to cut this open. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay the leg in here. You want to make sure that it is up high enough. Okay. I'm going to zip this, keeps this straight. So I'm getting this other leg, because you're going to trim it off, so make sure you have enough up here. Don't get it too close, because this is right at the crotch point. You don't want it to have a hole or anything. You want to have plenty of fabric to work with. So, turn this around, maybe y'all can see a little better. So what I'm doing is, I want this seam kind of right down the center. And I want to lay this smooth. You don't want to pull it too much, so that this is how it naturally lays, just right like this. And I'm going to go ahead and put some pins. So it stays in place, and then I will stitch it down. And we'll do the same exact thing to the back. But this is kind of a fun project if you have some jeans that, like, you know, jeans, the leg style changes. You know, if you don't like if it's boot cut or something, you don't wear that style anymore, this is a great way to repurpose, you know, if they still fit good in the waist and hips area. Okay, so I've got this pin just like this, and I'm going to stitch, just kind of do this V shape right here. Come back to this V and put my needle down, and then I'm going to turn it and just go down the other side. But again, make sure you keep everything nice and flat. And I'm just kind of going right over the stitch line that was on the jeans, and it's going close to that folded flat felled edge, so it doesn't roll on me. Front's gonna look like. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off and just get it out of my way. And you will need, once we're finished, we'll try this back on, and you may want to cut it a little shorter, just depends, but I just want to get this excess out of my way. And I'm just using the bottom of the hem here as my guide to keep it in line with the other part of it. Now on the inside, we have all this excess too. So I'm going to turn it inside out and lay this out. Again, just be careful. This is where those little accidents happen. We actually cut the other part of the leg, not just the excess. So I'm cutting kind of close to the stitch line on the inside. You can always save these scraps. Some people make quilt squares with them. Okay, so I've cut off the bottom, and now we're going to work on the back. I've cut out all the excess on the inside, and I do like how that seams in there. But to be different, I don't think I'm going to do it on the back. Just lay your pant leg in here. Maybe I will, I don't know, let me look. So I'm just kind of laying this pant leg in here to see if I like having that thicker seam or if I don't want that thicker seam. So I think actually I might keep it. We'll just make it similar to the front. So that's a little design element that you can decide. You don't have to have either one of the seams. You can just use a piece of the fabric. You should have enough. If you don't want to use the leg of your jeans, you could always just get a cute fabric print that you like and do the exact same thing and just fill it in. So it doesn't even have to be from the leg. I'm folding this up. I'm going to lay this in here and I'm making sure it's up high enough that I've got plenty at the top. Okay, I'm just making sure that all my little pieces right here are nice and smooth. I'll go ahead and get this pinned. Okay, so this is what this looks like. So I've got it nice and smooth. I've got my pins. Make sure that this part right here is where it overlaps. You don't have any lumps. Make sure that's nice and smooth right there. And then I'm going to take this over to the machine and I'm going to stitch all the way up here and then I'll stop and then I'll start again and I'll come back down here and stitch that side. Now, right here is another design element. I left this raw edge right here. When you wash that, you know, your denim frays. So if you don't want that on the back side, if you want to just tuck that under, I would top stitch it first and then put your material in. Again, that's something that I decided I wanted to have on there, so it did have a little bit of that fray. I just think jeans, I kind of like the fray. We like our rips, we like our tears, that kind of stuff. So I wanted to just kind of have that raggy look all the way around and in the seam. If you don't like that, just tuck it under and do that portion now, and then put your material in and sew it in. I'll go ahead and sew the leg in. So now the back piece is sewn in. We have this, so I'm going to do just like I did to the front. I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to kind of even it up with where this ends down here, and then I'll turn it inside out, and then we'll cut all this excess that's in here as well. So let's lay this flat. So now before you throw out those jeans, you can figure out a way to repurpose. Okay, so I just want to smooth this out before I cut it so I see it really good. Okay, so now we have all the excess inside, and if you can see right here, I've got like this V, I don't know if you can see it. So there's the stitch line, and I'm going to cut right next to that. Now this one's a little different because this went up a little higher, so I've got a stitch line that comes all the way up here, but then I came back down here and started. So I am going to cut in here and kind of make a weird triangle and cut out that excess. Just don't want to have any like bulkiness. Just to show you this little weird part. So you can see this is where this came up, and then I just kind of trimmed that out right here. So get all that out of there. Okay, So this is what the back looks like. Now at this point, what you want to do is try your skirt on and see if the length is where you want it. If not, all you need to do is cut it. You don't need to hem it because you're going to throw this into the wash, and then it'll have this nice fray like this one that I did. So that one's got, all your cool frays. People pay high dollar for that stuff. So as you can see, I also want to point this out. It is longer in the back than it is the front. Don't even it up just yet. Try it on. Our bodies are all different. Things hang differently on us, and you may want it to be just a little bit longer in the back so that it is actually even. So before you do anything, try it on. See if you like where it hits. If not, get your little tailor's chalk. Get just some straight pins and kind of pin it. And then come back and cut it off. But check those things before you do it. So I'm going to trim this. I know I can trim this a little bit, so I'm going to trim it off a little bit, but not a whole lot. Because this is quite a bit of difference. I'm pretty confident I'm okay with it. But I'm going to leave it it's about a 1/2 inch longer now. So I'm going to try this on. Because like I said, this was a really, just a 3-inch zipper crotch, so it sits really low, but now that I've cut open the crotch, I'll be able to pull it up higher. So I did mark this just a little bit longer, so be careful when you are getting started marking it. Don't make it so short. Cut it off so that you have something to start with, and then if you want a super mini, get it all put together and then mark it and then come back and just cut it off. Now, if you do end up cutting more off, I would come back in and just re-stitch right here on the edges because you've cut off where you've back stitched and locked it in, so it may start coming undone. So just come right here and reinforce your about 1 inch in, and just reinforce right here where you've sewn those together so that as it washes and everything, it doesn't start coming open. So if you decide that you want to cut it shorter. So next step, try this on. I'm going to mark it, and then I'll throw it in the wash and get it good and frayed, and I'll take a picture of it when I have it all done up. Something else you could do, if you do embroidery, you could always add some embroidered design to it. There's all kinds of embroidery out there, just like this pair of jeans. That's why I picked this pair up. They've got the embroidery on it. Add a little design element to it. Something else you could do is sew some little patches on it, like fabric patches. You could even, cut a little slit right there so that it frays and put some rips into it. So you can really do a lot to it. Denim is fun to work with. We all love it. It's comfy. It's something we all wear all the time. So I'm excited to have a new skirt, and I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I will be putting this on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, if you want to learn to do some more sewing, we have sewing classes that are now scheduled. Go to the website, SewCuteByKatie.com, click on the Classes and Patterns tab, and we have 4 classes, I think. So the first class is a beginner, they're all beginner classes. First class is going to be a reusable grocery tote. We have, the next class is going to be a beginning quilting class where you make 2 quilt squares, a 4-patch and a 9-patch, I think, to get you started on making your quilt squares. We have a embroidery for the home sewer. So if you've got like a combination machine like this that you embroider on also, that you aren't quite sure how to get started, we're having a beginner embroidery class. And then the other class is going to be the zippered cosmetic pack. I posted a picture of that this morning. And we also have Katie's Sewing Club that you can join. It is a monthly membership. We work on 1 project a month. That is a little more detailed. That's for those of you that can't get to our store to take our in-store classes. So we work on 1 project a month. I do a video. I do a step-by-step. We've made 4 or 5 things now, but we've used commercial patterns. I'll show you how to read the patterns, purchase your fabric, cut out the patterns, and make the project. So if you join Katie's Sewing Club, then you also have access to all the classes we've already done. So that's pretty cool. And that's a monthly membership. So if you're interested in learning to sew, I really like online classes. I think it's easier for me to do those things with a hectic lifestyle. Once I get off work, I'm pretty much taking my kids everywhere, going to their events, that kind of thing. So being able to go to a class sometimes is more challenging for me. That's why I like online classes. So be sure to check that out. So I hope you guys have a great day and a great start to your week. And I'll be talking to you soon. See you later. Bye.